The old enemy await the Hawks as the 2024 campaign kicks off against the Bombers on Saturday afternoon, 1:45 p.m. after what was a pretty fan-polarising opening round, to be honest. If you're a Hawks fan, you probably hated it. If you're a Hawks and a footy fan, you probably thought, well, footy's back and we can live with it. But my name's Daz. His name is Chris. I'm going to introduce him in a second. But of course, we are Talking Hawks, your one-stop shop for Hawthorn footy content, whether it's behind the scenes, whether it's fan engagement. We are your place to be. So you should be subscribing on YouTube, liking us on Facebook, X, or Twitter, if you still call it Twitter, as I do, Instagram, basically any app on your phone that doesn't show the weather. We're there. Come find us and we'll be good to go. Chris, it's the earliest the footy season has started for nearly a decade, mate, and it still feels like we've been away too long. How are you, my friend?
I'm very good, mate. I, much like yourself, probably kept myself busy watching the cricket and some various other sports. But yeah, excited it's back. It's like I said, it took way too long, and yeah, we're here now, so let's enjoy it.
And there's just something about a Collingwood premiership that just makes you wish for another premier to come along. As long as it's not the blokes from down the highway, I think we'll be pretty all right with it. Although Craig McRae was a Hawks man, so we can live with that a little bit. But plenty of the regulars jumping in, mate. Jacob, remember here. Chris last year as well, which would be beautiful. And, mate, if we're going off early predictions, if we're a game show and we can only accept the first answer, can we accept the first prediction?
Wow.
Surely.
Yep. Sold.
I'd take half that. What are we talking 8 for, which I like.
Share around.
Absolutely. It doesn't matter who kicks the goals, mate, as long as they're getting kicked, in my opinion. As long as it says, 16, 18, 20 on the goal sheet, Joel could kick 14 of them for all I give a stuff, let me tell you, which is nice. I like Nick's use of maniacs in this sentence. I reckon it sums us up pretty nicely, mate.
Certainly does, yeah. Like you said, the fans are here, so let's hear what they've got to say.
Absolutely. Of course, we can't make these live streams possible without you guys in the chat as well. We just steer the ship as you give us all of your best. But hopefully Dylan Moore comes back. We did read in the injury report that I reckon the Hawks knew we were going live tonight, mate, because about an hour before we jumped on, they dropped the injury report. Dylan Moore is likely good to go. One more session on Thursday to get through and he'll be fine. And kind of an underrated injury from this week, mate, Seamus Mitchell. Looks fit to take his place in round one if selected, but health-wise, could be good to go.
Yeah, we all sort of thought it might have been a bit of a setback and he might sort of lose his position in the team. But, yeah, he's right in the mix to debut. Oh, in first round, not debut, but play first round when we least expected it.
Well, we know I've got to ask you a question unprepared off the top, mate, but give me just your instinctual answer. Fully fit? Does he play round one? Seamus Mitchell. And don't give me this, what Matt does. Don't sit on the fence and go, he could be the sub. He's 22 or he's not playing. Is Seamus Mitchell in?
Very hard without looking at the squad, but I'm going to go yes.
I like it. I think Seamus Mitchell will help him play forward.
There, so fitness shouldn't be an issue, although he didn't have the match fitness, but I think he's got the capability to play out a game if needed.
I think he does, mate, of course. And I'm loving just how much the fans are enjoying us being back, mate. Good to get especially for me, my ugly mug back on the screen with the Hawks fans, which we like. But Jason's going with a question here very close to my heart. Gunners will get a game. We'll assume that means round one. Been pretty quiet in preseason. For me, in the way that Jack went through last year, mate, I'm kind of okay with a quiet preseason from the great man, with, of course, the family circumstances. The second move in effectively 12 months for him might not be a bad thing.
Yeah, and again, it's not like he needs the experience. Sure, a bit of match fitness helps, but he doesn't. I don't think he puts in huge Ks during games. And he's more likely to play deep, I guess, if that's the case. We did discuss that it's a possibility of him being a sub, but I don't think that's the right move, is it?
No, I don't think. I don't think anyone over the age of 30 should be the sub, but yeah.
But a handy player because he's pretty flexible.
Handy. Absolutely. Is an interesting question from Nick here. Who will be rucking on Saturday? I mean, I think we've just got to give Reeves round one. He and Todd Goldstein might be the most uninspiring ruck matchup we've seen in a long time, mate. Unfortunately, the Reaver probably wouldn't be putting his hand up for the preseason MVP, and Todd Goldstein's 47 on a good day.
Yeah, like you said, he hasn't lit it up in the preseason, but, he might just be toying around and playing with a few different concepts with the young kids in the midfield. So hopefully he brings his A game on the weekend.
For sure. Interesting point here. We're going to talk about the Wizard a little bit later on, but the Wizard plays. God, I hope the Wizard plays. We've played the Bombers in early games a lot, mate. I remember 2014, 2015, I reckon we had them back-to-back. We won at Marvel, and then they beat us because we didn't have 2 extra seconds for a Luke Bruce late goal to pinch it off them. But there's something about small forwards who love playing against the Bombers. We know Bud did too, but geez, Nick Watson kicking 4 on debut sounds pretty good to me. I'm not going to lie to you.
Really? Yeah. Playing against the Bombers. How did Guinea go against the Bombers? That might be testing you.
Guinea, did you say? Sorry?
Yeah.
Well, Mason Redmond nearly killed him in a Collingwood jumper, which probably didn't help. But last year Guinea was a little bit down, but he kicked 40 goals 2 years ago. I have to assume some of them came against an Essendon back six that just think they have to hunt the footy and not their opponent. So
I'm telling you, he's one that's really got me excited. I think he's going to deliver in spades this year.
Oh, mate, speaking my language there, let me tell you. And God, I hope he does for family spite.
Did I cut you off on the Wizard? Were you going to keep going? Are you going to keep ranting about the Wiz?
No, man. We can keep going there, but the Guinea Wiz combo. I think it was Craig. Sorry that I missed your message further up, mate. Who said 6 goals? I think from the Guinea Watto combo. Sold. We're putting together quite the wish list here, Chris. I am in no way going to underestimate Todd Goldstein. Was a little bit tongue in cheek from Daz, but that's okay. But they always say, mate, to go with your good stuff up off the top. I was probably going to save this for the end, but I reckon we do it now. And announce what's happening with the live streams from here on out. So for the last few seasons, of course, before I came on board, and you, Matt, and Brad did fantastic jobs, mate, midweek. And we love our midweek check-ins with the fans. But we knew that we needed to go to another level. So we still hopefully will do sort of midweek check-ins, maybe not as regularly as every week. But there's a reason for that coming in, because for every single Hawthorn game in 2024, half an hour after the final siren goes, we will be going live on YouTube to react to all of it. So if you're stuck on the train home after the Bombers game, because let's be honest, if there's a group of fans that's going to mess our train system up, it'll probably be those pricks after we beat them by 4.5 goals, and you're stuck on the train, get your phone out and we'll be reacting to it all, whether it's a 10-goal win, a 10-goal loss, or anything in between, mate. We will be going bunter right after the final siren and getting the raw emotions of our fans. And let me tell you, I'm pumped for it. I got to be honest, this could get real loose.
We did it back in the day. We experimented with it a little bit, and we got some really good results. And with a bigger team on board now, I think we're going to get some really good chat going after the games.
Oh, I think we're going to, which we like. Luke, yeah, Chris is staying hydrated. We need the great man up and about, let me tell you. We like him here. Now, we've got some questions. I'm sorry, fans. I love it when the fans put me under pressure at this point. I thrive under pressure. That's the background of me. Here we go. I like this. From Jaden. Thoughts on an annual Essendon versus Hawthorn round 1 game? I'll tell you what it does. Makes the fixture easier.
Yeah, I think they might be heading in that direction. We got Melbourne for quite a few years, didn't we? And
yes,
they do like those matchups, don't they? Richmond, Carlton, sort of the openers. So, yeah, especially if this is a good clash. Let's hope so. And we are on top. But, yeah, why not? What
Does anyone actually know? Does anyone actually know how Carlton and Richmond got that game? Because it started in 2007, and they were both bad back then. And neither of them really got any better at the same time for the next 15 years. And the 1 year that they're both going to be good, we had a round 0.
That sucks, doesn't it? But
crazy.
And I reckon you would have watched every single one of those Thursday night games, wouldn't you?
Oh, wouldn't I what, mate? Let me tell you. Yep. Can't get enough footy, can I? It's an interesting question, though. If more Bruce, I'm going to assume, Adrian, you mean McDonald, because you've gone more twice. So if we say more Bruce, McDonald, we can include Guinea in there as well. Does the Wizard get a gig? I think, mate, with the deficiencies that we're going to face down back this year, I've got no problem loading up that forward line. None at all.
I think he's saying, is there enough room for that many small forwards to play in the one team?
What do you think?
Yeah, it's hard. You can. Well, Morey's got a good tank. You can rotate him sort of high half forward through the wing or the midfield at times. C-Mac as well. So maybe you can rotate 5 of them through constantly, having one on the bench and just constantly rotating them around. So it could work.
I like this from Stephen as well. 3 into 2 don't fit. So hypothetically, if one has to miss out, because again, we're not doing the fence sitting answers, Ward, McKenzie, Hustwaite, who misses out?
So tough. I think Ward's just got that extra experience, so I think they will run with him. But geez, the other two are putting their hand up. I've probably got Hustwaite slightly in front, but McKenzie, what a transformation, mate. Oh, his physique. Has he had the biggest change over the preseason physically?
For the Hawks, potentially.
Yeah.
Yep,
that's sure. What I'm saying. Yeah, so look, he's that's close my eyes and flip a coin.
Just spin around in the room in a circle and just whichever one you point to goes from there. I know that there are a lot of fans of this man around there, but I'll probably go Josh Ward misses out of the 3, to be honest.
Or one of them.
Boy, that hurt. I did not enjoy. Stephen, stop making me hurt my own feelings. Is where we're going from there. But that's how you know it's a good question.
Do we both almost sit on the fence then?
Yeah, no, I'm going Josh Ward, but I don't feel good about it on the inside. Who do we think get the wing roles, mate?
Well, Massimo D'Ambrosio, I think. Yes. Yep. Obviously, Carl Amon's looking like changing his role, but there's arguments he could play there. But that's where I thought Josh Ward might actually spend a bit of time. So, who else have we got that rolls through that wing position?
I think they're the 2 options, and that's why it's hurt. That's why it hurt for me to omit Wardy from the previous question. Is I just think he goes in that spot with no CJ. We want Amon and Weddle. Jay's brought up Weddle here as well, and I think they're going to be halfback flankers. So I think it makes sense for maybe even a Jarman Impey comes up a little bit further as that kind of hybrid 7th defender, I suppose. But
I think
mate, it's a good mix to have.
I think Timmy did Timmy interview Weddle?
I think so, yeah.
Or am I thinking something else?
He's interviewed that many, the great man. It's hard to keep track.
Done a great job. I think Weddle has been played a little bit on the wing, and if that's a permanent move, like he's a jet. And tall wingmen taking marks and big raking kicks are like Isaac Smith-esque, isn't it? Just why not use him there before he transitions into the midfield with Will Day?
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, if you haven't heard Isaac Smith on Triple M yet, you need to. Boy, does he fit in well with that crowd. I like this question. Has Ethan Phillips done enough to play? Well, It depends. It depends if the Essendon sort of scouting report has them playing their 2 sort of hybrid talls in Langford and Harrison Jones. Kyle Langford kicked 51 goals last year. Does that surprise you as much as it surprised me with 6 months of hindsight? I know he was good, but 51's a lot of goals.
I did watch quite a few of his games, and I really rate. He's such a good kick. And coming from a backman to play forward, I'll rate him. But yes, 51's a good number, isn't he? And I think he's going to get better too.
And just not against us. Kick 6 in round 2, Kyle. We're happy with that. David, look, I understand that our preseason form is a worry. When we're a team that were 3rd last, 16th on the ladder, deficiencies and experimentation were always going to come. I think that more direct style of footy is going to come, and our defense can stop 100 points being scored against us. We agree. I agree with you massively on that last point. I think if the Hawks are going to lose games by 5 goals, we'd rather it be 120-90 than 90-60, and that was probably evidence of that Western Bulldogs game, Chris.
Yeah, no, when we were looking good and moving the ball quickly, there's no reason why we can't be in those high numbers. But yeah, you could see if the opposition's done their homework and stops our ball movement, I don't know where the plan B is at the moment. But that is a bit of a worry. But let's hope we just keep finding ways to move the ball and scoring high all year long.
And mate, we've had, I think in the 4 games we had 4 strings of 5+ goals in a row. across the entire weekend. So Brisbane did it, Carlton did it, obviously in their comeback. Gold Coast did it, kicked 10 in a row, I think, against Richmond in that second half, and then GWS did it in the back end of their Collingwood game as well. So even if it is a slow start or anything, momentum is a big thing in footy, mate. And we did concede a lot last year, so if we've got the firepower to catch up, I'm all for it.
Yeah, you sort of need it, don't you? And if you don't have the ability to do it, you need to be kicking every second or third goal, don't you, to be in the game?
Yeah, for sure. Jake Stringer's got a few mentions before, mate. He's one of those guys that just likes playing against the Hawks, unfortunately, even in a Bulldogs jumper. I remember he tore us apart at a game in Tassie. I reckon it would have been 2020 or 2021. I think it was down there. Pretty much single-handedly won the game for the Bombers there. Jake Stringer's in scary form at the moment because it's a contract year. And I reckon every year he's had where he's fought for a contract, he's been on the verge of All-Australian, which is not good for us.
Yes, it is I don't know what it is. Is it him or is it us? But he just seems to turn up, doesn't he? How do you stop him? How?
Hope he doesn't care. Can it be as simple as that?
Do you reckon it's a good run with roll for Nashi?
At centre bounces, potentially. Forward of the ball, I think it's just a perfect matchup for Josh Weddle and go,
yep.
You've got the pace to burn him. He might have the strength to get you, but considering that we are at the MCG, there's more open space than a Marvel. That pace is probably going to be better suited than an arm wrestle. And then we've got, Impey, we've got these guys, Sicily, Phillips, if he does play, that can come in as a third man up. I like the Weddle and Stringer task forward of centre, to be honest.
Yep. No, I'm happy with that. If it turns out the way.
We're away now, so a couple agreeing on Joshy Ward to miss out. I'm loving the fact no one wants Henry Huswaite to miss out. He is my shining star at the moment.
Blake Hardwick's getting mentioned. We didn't even touch on that in those that bunch of small forwards, and I thought he's done decent in that role. More so putting pressure on as well, defending. But so are the other young fellas, aren't they? Ginnivan surprised me with the way he's really chased and battled. And Nick Watson, how quick is he? Yeah.
So
what's your take on Hardwick?
Yeah, you're runner up in the best and fairest twice in a particular position. You kind of become accustomed to seeing him down there. I'm comfortable with him playing forward if Seamus is back. To be honest, I think as a young team, you've really got to have a one-wood. You've got to be great at something instead of trying to be good at everything. And Luke, therefore, if parts of your game fall down, you can get into a bit of trouble.
Luke Smith is telling us Dimmer probably still goes forward, and I think he's got a little bit of intel around the club, mate.
Yeah, I think he's going to be right. Also telling us not to forget about Harry Morrison, and I've got to be honest, I think I might have in that wing discussion, but he's definitely going to be all right there. Do we think Morrison will play? We do think so, considering that's what the info the Hawks told us. Fix Weddle's composure and he has star potential. I think the trajectory is looking pretty good. I remember when Nick Blakey first came into the comp for the Swans, they said exactly the same thing about him. He runs around like a chicken with his head cut off, and look at how he played against the Demons. So I think Weds is going to be absolutely fine. This is an interesting question. I like that Stephen's brought this up. You've stolen one of me dot points, Stephen. You've been outstanding tonight. Finn, does he go to Martin? Does he go to Merritt? No Parrish, no Hobbs, which tells me if you take Zach Merritt out of the game, we're halfway home.
Yes, true. You know how good of a job he does when he locks down. But I think it is a little bit of a compromise having him in the midfield as well. So in those set of bounces that can compromise us, I guess, attacking. So I'd be more than happy to have him play on a wing because he's done it off half back when he's tagged as well, hasn't he? So it's no different for him starting outside the centre square. So I'm all for it.
Just go follow Nick Martin and just go, you're not hitting any targets today, champion. Let me tell you.
Mate, I'm just going to give you a quick warning. Can you just go solo for a minute while I grab my charger?
Yeah, sorry, mate. People. No, I sure can. No, that's all right. No worries, mate. The tight ship we're running around here, let me tell you. Yeah, the drop-off versus the Dogs was worrying Yeah, it was. Again, I kind of look at it as if we have that drop off this week, I'll fully come in and go, this ain't enough what we're doing. So I am just going to hold off. I do like that you've said that it was a preseason game, but still 18 up to 57 down. Quick math tells us that's a 12.5 goal turnaround. Oy, not great. I'm trying to click with the right side of my mouse instead of the left. So it's round one here. Beforehand, Will Day is a huge loss early. Steph, I couldn't agree with you more. Reigning best and fairest winner. He is going Saturday. I think the entire crew is going Harvey except me. So I'll definitely be leading the charge in the live stream. I'm down in Gippsland, Victoria at the moment and actually working the Saturday morning. So Chris is back here. So, but the rest of the crew will be around. Chris, are you going on Saturday?
That was my intention.
Was your intention?
I've heard rumors of it being a sellout. So I've got to just double check if I can make sure I can get myself and the kids there.
Oh, like it. Brett here, simple question. Why don't teams kick to the forward pocket more often as a last resort to almost always at least guarantee a boundary throw in 10 metres from your goal? Simply put, Brett, as someone who likes to overthink about the game, is if you do take a mark in the forward pocket, it is a horrifically low average of kicking the goal.
Yeah, so we've got some sharpshooters though.
Yeah, we do, for sure. Unfortunately, most of them are small. I know Mitch Lewis is a beautiful kick, and except for Nick Larkey, I'd probably pick him to kick a goal for my life, but oof.
Well, it's probably not your first option, is it, kicking to the boundary? But if you got, like you said, if there's no better options, I don't see why you wouldn't take that option.
I like it. Gunners and Hardwick will play that third marking forward role. I'm struggling to see how Gunners gets a game at this point, considering how we forgot Dimmer in this small forward role. We've talked about the Wizard. Yeah, where are we? Can we play 26? That's a rule, isn't it? Surely.
Oh, yeah. Well, we would love to if we could, couldn't we? I don't know. I think there's going to be some people missing out that probably deserve to be starting.
Wizard surprise prediction to kick 4 on debut. Yes, please. No pressure, Wizard.
You've got Wizard as a lock. He's definitely playing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Anyone that can antagonise a home Essendon crowd, him and Guinea are going to do it perfectly. Who's going to be the first bloke who gives a free kick away to Guinea? Let's be honest. Is it Mason Redmond again? Is it round 2?
Are you saying what quarter it happens in as well?
Oh, mate, I'm talking first inside 50.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nuke, straight out of the middle. Nuke 1-2 with Warple, inside 50, off hands, Guinea, too high. Jake Kelly's got him too high, kicks the first, Hawks go nuts, and we're all good from there. And I'll tell you what, if that comes true, this live stream's going to get real loose. I promise you. We're still divided, Hawks fans-wise, on where Dimmer plays, which is going to be extremely interesting. Scrimmer in the back line, couldn't agree more. Nick, bringing something new to the table. Seamus Mitchell on a wing.
There's potential. I don't know if it'll happen round 1, but he's definitely a candidate.
Speaking of a risk for round 1, a tagger as a sub.
Oh, but it's not for that role.
No, I definitely don't think so at all. Shano, good to have you, mate. Paul, I'm going to assume you're talking to me. I couldn't agree with you more, but unfortunately, this is a visual medium, so you're going to have to enjoy it. Stephen with another 3 and a 2 don't fit. Frost, Scrimshaw, and Phillips, who's misses out. In this scenario, I think it's pretty easy, mate. And Ethan Phillips will have to wait another week if it's up to those 3. But whatever we think about Frosty, someone has to play on Peter Wright, and it can't be James Sicily for me.
Oh, look, I thought Phillips performed really well. He gave away a few free kicks, which I thought he was a little bit stiff on, but I think he didn't look out of place, which made me confident. I think he will play. But as for the question, go with the experience. I guess Phillips misses out, doesn't he?
Don't have to be dead to be stiff, Ian, but Ethan, jeepers. 85K expected. Would love that to be Hawthorn fans. I know it's going to sound hypocritical because I won't be able to make it, but the Hawthorn crowd attendances this year going up should be a high priority.
The problem I have is even if we outnumber them, they seem to be louder than us, and it does my head in. The Hawks fans need to get louder.
And it comes through the TV as well. I'm not going to lie to you. I even noticed it a lot in the what was the Gabba game, Brisbane Carlton.
Yep.
Even during that, I think Brisbane fans got used to leading at home. To be honest, they'd won 52 of their last 60 at the Gabba. I think they were just bored with winning, to be honest. But jeepers, thanks, Mel. Appreciate that in a big way. I'm on a real emotional visual roller coaster at the moment. Let me tell you. All right. We play better without Frost in the team. I would agree with you, but unfortunately, there's an ACL injury that's kind of making it impossible not to pick him.
Yes.
So that's a problem.
Yeah. It's a tough dilemma, but hopefully he can redeem himself this season, I reckon.
I don't know whether this is a saying, but I get the feeling that when you come back for the first time, mate, the one thing that you don't want to do is you don't want to rock the boat. You just want to ease into things, get back into the rhythm. Well, Steph's going to make me not do that.
Yeah, dreaming.
Am I crazy that as of right now, 8 years for Jamara, to me, sounds ludicrous.
Yeah, but you know what? If that's the way these managers are working and they're getting them long-term contracts for security,
go get that bag, as they say in the NBA, for sure.
As for a forward players perspective, but like you said, you don't want to overpay and not get what your money's worth. Yeah, you want to be in that conversation, but I think we might just be leveraged for other clubs to overpay.
Yeah, Collingwood, Sydney, you'd think would have a dip. I mean, I think someone like West Coast could try, but I don't mean to be rude, but why the hell would you go to West Coast at the moment? Holy smokes. Bit of pressure on Mabior Chol after the last Bulldogs game. Speaking of things that might divide the crowd a little bit, mate, I can't say I was a massive fan of him saying he's got nothing to prove to anyone. I thought that was a little bit strange. Your thoughts on that and Mabior in round one?
I missed that comment. So, yeah, well, maybe if that's his thought process, then it's good that he's got no pressure to perform. If that's his method of doing it, but yeah, we need him to.
We know one thing for sure. We know one thing for sure. He ain't Dimmer's favourite. Just traded him twice. Extraordinary. Riley, Guinea too high after the siren, and we win after a Redmond free kick. What a way to kickstart the post-match live streams. Holy smokes, we would be. Oh, my word. I'm not going to say no. I don't think anyone would. First free kick against Costa Frosty. Oh, no. Can we seriously go after Jamara and pay him north of $1 million per year when Lewis is paid for less? Jason, you could also add to the end of that sentence that Mitch Lewis kicked more goals in his first 45 games than Jamara has. Think of that, what you will. But can we seriously, with the cap, we won't go too much into detail, but with the amount of money that Hawthorn have got, we got to pay someone or a lot of players. And even if you think, well, give more extensions to, the A graders, we've still got money in the cap. Like we are paying donuts pretty much at this point. So interesting. David, I'm going to use this question to kind of catapult into another question for Chris here. How many games does Mitch Lewis play and how many goals does he kick, mate?
How many do you want him to play, or how many can his body hold up to?
How many will he? Lock it in.
He's had a stiff run, but if he plays every game, he's going to be a sniffy for the Coleman, mate. Yeah.
So 70?
That's enough to win it these days, isn't it? So
yeah. Well, Charlie kicked 81, but to be fair, he played North and West Coast about 8 times combined, so that helps.
Yeah, that helps. Yeah. Realistically, you just want him to increase. And what did he get? 15 or 16 last year?
Games, yeah, 15. He hasn't played more
than
15.
Minimum. That's the minimum you want him to get. But
I'm firmly in the 20 game, 65 goal camp. Personally,
nobody goes out planning to get injured. So let's just
no. That is a very good point. Yep.
Hope his body can hold up and give us a really good year.
Yeah, is Ramsden going to play throughout the year? I'm sure he will. Unlikely for round one was BOG in the Box Hill prelim over the Suns, which is all you can ask for. Is all you can ask for when you're asked to play in the seconds, of course. Big mouth Bomber fans, they are that.
I did say Cam McKenzie had the biggest transformation over the preseason, but I think he'll be closely followed by Rama. I think Rama's put on a few kgs, hasn't he? So that'll increase his chances of being able to play against the big boys physically.
Need easy handball out when Frost plays. Well, I don't know if you watched the game against Carlton when we tried making a comeback in his left-handed handball that went about 40 millimetres when he tried to hit Seamus Mitchell last year. But not every time. I'm more than happy for Frosty to just do the James Frawley tactic, which was just pick a direction and put it 50 metres that way and go. It's when Frosty takes off with the ball, Chris, that we kind of start either laughing or crying, depending on what's going on.
Yes, I agree with the handball ratio should be a bit higher, and if you're going to kick it 50 plus where you can afford to make a mistake and not turn over and get a goal. That's probably what hurts the most, the turnovers and then a goal out of it. It's just, you can't afford it.
And if you want to know how divisive Jamara is, these are back-to-back comments here. I'm not skipping anyone. Marty says no. And Jen Will, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. We could start a fundraiser for $2 million. So definitely both ends of the spectrum there.
My biggest concern about overpaying him is the team balance and the mentality, or the what goes in the locker room. You just want the players to share the money, and it can sort of wreck a team, can't it?
It really can. Chase Sam Taylor. Yeah, I agree. Now, whether we can actually get him or not is an entirely different story. But yes, to everything, to all of that, I'd pay. Sounds nuts. There's not too many players in the competition you'd give up three first-round draft picks for, and I know it sounds like a lot, but if it was possible, and GWS wanted 3 first-rounders for Sam Taylor, I'm paying it.
Yes,
straight up.
You are a big fan, aren't you?
Oh, mate. My goodness. A lot of Sam Taylor love. So we love this. Chol has everything to prove. I like it. Stephen, a forgotten man because of the ACL, but he would still take Bailey Smith next year, which off the ACL might come a little bit cheaper than previous seasons.
100%. Yeah, you'd definitely consider it, wouldn't you? Bit of a risk, but he's done it twice too, though, hasn't he?
Yes, I think so. So a lot of Ugle-Hagen, yes and no again, which we like. Con, a little bit late, but that's all right. You only owe us $1 for every minute you were late, so that's 33. So that'll pay for some lunches, which we like, but happy that you're here. I like this bit. I like the love about, not the love, but I've just had a bug fly into my mouth. That's lovely. Let's hope Warple's efficiency is up on Saturday. What do you make of Jimmy Warple, mate? I know he's kind of, with Will Day out, he's firmly our sort of number 2 mid, but what do you think of the Warpedo?
Yeah, I've had mixed feelings over the last couple of seasons, I guess you'd say, or his time with Hawthorn, I guess. He came on the scene with a bit of a bang, didn't he? Again, he's just those turnovers, costly turnovers. If he can get his turnovers and his decision making, I guess his possession's a little bit cleaner. He's just too far apart from his best and his worst. We just need to see more of his best for mine.
Well, Brett's calling me insane. I'm with you. I am. I don't even hide it anymore, which is nice. I'll tell you the thing about Jimmy Warple that I liked. So John Newcomb was number 1 in the competition last year for 44 broken tackles, which is just nuts. Like, that's just jeepers. Jimmy Warple's 5th in the comp as well. Wow. So it went Cam Rayner, Jason Horn-Francis was 2nd and 3rd. Can't remember who was 4th, but Jimmy Warple was 5th. Thanks to the Hardball Gets podcast for that little stat. It's just what he does when he breaks the tackles that is key. So a bit more love for Ramsden. No love for Bailey Smith there, but that's all right. Shano, now we've got some Talking Hawks crew that are big on this man. Whether you call him C-Mac or Croc, at number 31, mate, he's going to have a good year, I reckon.
He's exciting, and I can't be more impressed with what he's done since he's debuted, and he's barely missed a game too. I can't see him taking a backward step, so I can only see him getting better, and that's just exciting for us Hawks fans.
So Warp's getting some love. which we like. Hopefully I've got the context of that right. Does a lot of grunt work. I couldn't agree more. Free agency at the end of the next contract. Interesting. By that stage, Huswaite and McKenzie will be regulars. So we might see another Hawk go to the Cats, is what you're telling me, Stephen.
Yeah, I've heard that they're interested, and if it happens, I guess it's sad. But at the same time, if we can get the right price for it, then
well, if it's a free agent, we'll probably end up with pick 43 or something because that's how the compensation works.
The way
benefits everyone but Hawthorn.
Trade, yeah.
It's all right, guys. We can get pick 19 for Buddy and North can get pick 3 for Mackay. Makes perfect sense. Jai Sarong getting a little bit of love, which we like.
Yep, and he was mentioned by one of the coaches that Timmy interviewed. What was that? Kate Simpson, I think.
I think it would have been.
Yeah. So it does sound pretty promising. He sort of does get a little bit forgotten at times, missing so much footy. But again, if they're telling he's competing with our big guys, so there's no reason he can't compete against opposition big boys. I'm excited.
Joey, I like this as the next point of improvement for Connor Nash. I mean, the scoring part, there's not too many midfielders in the competition that aren't that upper echelon that really do hit the scoreboard in a big way. And as a non-stay, you wouldn't. Connor Nash, I love the turnaround that he's had. He's not an A-grade midfielder. Very good at what he does, don't get me wrong. Yeah. But hitting the scoreboard. But the contested marks, mate, is interesting considering that if we think the makeup of the team is going to look how it is, he could be a guy we could look at as sort of a dump kick out of the area if Marby or Chol and Ned Reeves aren't close to the contest. And if he can get those big dukes up, pretty hard to stop at 196 centimetres.
Yes, like you said, it's a huge asset for him, and he needs to utilise it a bit more, doesn't he?
I think so. Massimo, mate, but Essendon letting him go for what he couldn't do, look, could be justified. We don't know. Getting rid of him for what he can do already looks a mistake, and he hasn't played yet.
And coming up against the old team this week, he's going to be proving them wrong, isn't he? He's going to be trying his guts out.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Geelong are interested in Clayton Oliver. I think Jay-Z, who wrote that, is a Geelong fan. Jay-Z, I think. I don't know whether that had something to do with it, but it's not round one, guys. I think we can chill on that just a little bit. Big boy, yep, love that. We're kind of getting to the end here of the line, so keep floating in your comments, guys. I do want to ask you, though, Chris, who's the bomber that frightens you the most, mate? Who do you think could take the game away from the Hawks if it does come to that?
I guess it's, like you said, I think Darcy Parish, did he have 37 against us last year? Something like that.
Yeah.
Ripped us apart. Like you said, we've already talked about the threat of Jake Stringer. And who's their forward that
Peter Wright
lit us up? He lit us up last year too, didn't he? Or was it the year before?
Yeah.
They're probably the biggest concerns, I think, aren't they?
Yeah, that was the no Parish helps, and of course no Hobbs, so that means Zach Merritt for mine is the guy that can kill us. I think the Finn McGuinness conversation is interesting. I actually think Parish out probably lets Finn McGuinness not play.
Is he officially been ruled out?
Yeah, Parish ain't playing. Yep, and he's not playing round 2 either. Yep. So whether we think, all right, Newcomb v Merritt, and then Warple v Caldwell or Setterfield or Sam Dorham or. It's always good having a midfield room, mate, but when you don't have any A-graders going through that midfield room, it probably lets our man Jai just go, I'm having you.
Yeah.
Good luck.
He's unstoppable, isn't he? And even showed it in the preseason. And he's probably just doing that for fun, isn't he? Yeah, I tell you what, could be a smoky for the Brownlow next year. Polled quite well, didn't he, last year, unexpectedly?
He did.
If we can win a few more games, he is a really, really good chance.
And as the old saying goes, mate, someone's got to get the 3 votes. And no one cares, unless you kick 8, no one cares about forwards.
Draper is just the danger from Nick. Yeah. He can turn it on, can't he?
I don't know if I'm as big a buyer in Sam Draper as others. I did it every club's ruck ranking on my own YouTube channel, and boy, did Essendon fans come for me. So I'm going to shut up about Sam Draper, to be honest, but I don't think he's a guy that's going to take the game away from us.
Yeah, but big Ned Reeves isn't really going to stop him, is he?
It's a good point. Yep, unfortunately.
gets off.
Yeah, we
off
think
the lead.
Dylan Moore's going to be all right, which is good. Sorry, mate, go on. Oh, no, having a drink. What am I doing? Reeves. Oh, Fred. Oh, come on. We're better than this. Come on, Fred. He'll take a couple. Well, Max Gawn took one on the weekend. So, swings and roundabouts. Although Draper is no Brody Grundy, let me tell you. Also remembering actually bringing up a good point that they put on Anthony McDonald, Tip and Woody as the sub, and he kind of took the PI 55 about us in the last quarter as the sub there just to rub it in, which was not nice.
Yeah, so I was at the ground, and the noise that they made when he came on was a bit inspirational to watch, even though it hurt. But yeah, they're not doing it this year, are they?
I like what Chris has said here, and I just want to add to it a little bit as well, mate, is that stopping opposition teams from hurting us on turnover. So we actually weren't as bad in creating our own turnover, so turning the ball over ourselves. We weren't good, by no means. We weren't really as bad as I think our ladder position said, but conceding scores off turnover, West Coast were worse, end of list. And considering how bad West Coast were last year, that doesn't say much. So getting our butts back when we turn the ball over, especially in our forward half, if you turn the ball over in your forward half, getting the opposition 120 metres of the field to score against you, mate, it's unforgivable. So something that we can tidy up will be the hope.
Yeah, it's a matter. Yeah, I would have said most of them come from the back line more so than anywhere else on the ground. And yeah, that's probably one of the biggest things we need to fix this year, and that'll go a long way for us winning a lot more games.
For sure. So how are we feeling, Hawks fans? Score predictions, margin predictions. Who's going to be our best on ground? Start getting those in. Do you do footy tipping, Chris? How did you go last week? How confident are you in picking a winner for this one, just before we give away who we are picking?
I am in one comp. I tipped 3 out of 4, missing Brisbane.
You're doing better than me. I picked Melbourne. So going beautifully, I am. 2 out of 4, going beautiful.
While the fans are putting in their predictions, I think Matt would be a little bit upset if I didn't bring out the new merch. So there we are, people. Give you a bit of a proudly sponsoring Jai, Denver, and Jazz. So put a little bit of work into that, did Matt and the boys with their input. But yeah, jump on board, guys. We've got the player sponsorship going again this year. So if you want to be part of it, hit us up on the Talking Hawks website at talkinghawks.com. And you can probably find other links to get there as well. Daz?
Yep, absolutely, mate. You'll be able to find it on all your social media platforms. Or, of course, just go to your favourite search engine. We've all got one. Let's be honest. Just type in Talking Hawks. Our website will be the first thing that pops up, and you can get involved there as well. Geez, I'm not liking the pessimism in the chat at the moment. Will we put some time into Redmond? Potentially, but, we've got Bombers by 21, Warple our best, Bombers by 40. Jeepers, come on, guys. The season hasn't started yet.
I did not expect that.
No,
are you picking all the bad ones, or are you skipping through there?
No, I'm not skipping at this point in time. Here we go. David, first off the bat, you're guilty. Not skip. Oh, come on, Chris. I wouldn't do that. I know I'm a pessimist, but I'm not that bad. My goodness. Jai Bag or BOG. I thought he meant he was going to kick it back. I'm cool with that.
Yes. Yep.
I'm cool with that. Hawks by 24, Lewis 5. I'm buying what you're selling, Chris. Let me tell you. Nick, to start the season strong with C-Mac, you're guilty. Hawks by 4, because who doesn't love a heart attack in mid-March? Bombers by 30 to 40. That's not what we want. Hawks by 3.5 goals. Chol best on ground. I would love that in a big way. Hawks by half a kick. Nick, BOG, Punky 4. Stephen, hopefully soon, my friend, especially as we hit winter.
Yep.
They're going to be sorted. Absolutely. Hawks by 2.5 goals there by Josh. Jacob, just hope that Essendon don't show up. I'd rather them show up and we beat them anyway, but I understand your point, Jacob.
Yep.
Bombers by 3 goals. Come on, Fred. Get around us. Cracking hat. Absolutely. Bombers by 1. Brett, you're in timeout. Hawks by 39 with Gino kicking 5. Every time someone mentions Ginnivan kicking goals, I feel like I'm going to giggle. So that's where I'm at the moment. Hawks by 5, nail biter to the siren. Hawks by 7. Gunners 3, welcome back. Jeez, I hope it happens.
Do like that.
Leslie, I think this is the greatest answer without a margin I've ever heard. I expect us to win. Big.
Yes.
He'll guilty. Jacob, 3 goals if we do get up. Zach, you're in an even bigger timeout. That's not good enough. You're better than that, son. Nick, Hawks by 27. Jaden, love the optimism. Yeah, maybe on
how many quarters are we playing?
Some AFL game on rookie mode with 20-minute quarters. How boring would that be? Bombers by double digits. Goz are there. Hawks by 9. A lot of Hawks by
small margins.
Single digits in here. Yeah, for sure. Lads by 15. Weddle best on ground. That's what we like.
Yeah.
Lying through your teeth. Come on, Steph. But Hawks by 10. Well, if they do win by 10, you can't claim it in the stream then. As long as we've got a deal in that department. Guinea always plays well against Essendon. Don't have his stats up, but I'll believe you. Ramsden to kick 4. I mean, if he plays, I'd like it.
That's an optimistic one.
I like this one.
Well, that'd be the cream, wouldn't it?
Wouldn't it? Just to kick the sealer. Like 2 minutes to go. 50. We're up by 2.5. Massimo from 50. Oh.
Yeah. What a celebration.
Absolutely. I like this from Riley as well. Ned Reeves to take a match-saving mark. That'd be awesome. But let's go to your pick, mate. What are you going to be rolling with on, I don't know whether you use the Footy Tips website or not, but what do you got for us?
You know, I'm honest, and I haven't thought about it too much, but my first gut instinct when I thought about it earlier in the week was Essendon. I don't like it myself, but that was my first instinct. If you want to put a number on it, let's just call it 22.
I'm not angry.
I hate saying it.
I'm not angry. Just disappointed. Hawks by 16 for mine. Why can't we win? Beat Collingwood, Brisbane, and the Doggies in the second half of the year. Only 2 of those sides made finals. Shout out to the Dogs. Imagine losing the West Coast at Marvel. Couldn't be us. We won by 100 at Tassie.
Maybe it's our preseason form that's probably crept into my mind as well. But look, I'd love nothing more to win, and we're capable of doing it. So, what do you got? What do you got for me, mate?
Yeah, Hawks by 16 for mine. Fair spread of goal kickers. I just think Luke Bruce is going to turn back the clock and kick 4, which I like. Yep, Gozza, I agree. Essendon, I think this actually brings up a really good point, and you can check out Daz Talks Footy for my video coming tomorrow that will talk about this a little bit. If Essendon lose this game on the weekend, I'm not going to lie to you, mate. I'm not saying write them off, but I kind of am. Right, because let's be honest. Like, we've got 467 games of experience on our injuries list. Now, the Bombers have got 459, so that's not the same. But the 16th place team last year has nearly 500 games of experience on the injury list. You just need to win that game if you're a finals caliber side.
Yep.
My goodness.
This. Let's write them off, mate. Let's just knock them out of finals round one.
That's it. They haven't won a final for 20 years, and if they lose on the weekend, they're not winning one for 21. So we're going beautifully. My mind says Bombers, but stuff the Bombers. Hawks win. I like it. And just before we head off, mate, unfortunately, we've had some conversations about the crew and stuff, but just at the end here, I just wanted to bring up that we do have a departure at Talking Hawks. So Smithy, the man responsible for the player reviews for the last 2 seasons, not going to be with us, unfortunately, for 2024, which absolutely sucks. We love Smithy at Talking Hawks, mate, and we wish him the very best of luck and thank him for what he's been able to do for the brand for the last effectively 3 seasons. So fingers crossed he can enjoy the Hawks as a spectator, and he won't have to give us opposition winning predictions as we might have to do once or twice throughout the year.
Yeah, I feel the same, mate. It's going to be a big loss for the team. And I just love he's got a different angle that he looks at the game from. And, yeah, it's going to be sorely missed. And I'm sure the fans will be the same. So if you got any some nice comments for Smitty, feel free to put them down and we'll pass them on if the young man's not watching secretly in the background.
Absolutely. think he might be, but Maxwell there. Click the like button. Absolutely. Subscribe to Talking Hawks as well, guys. Got some few derogatory comments towards the Bombers I won't show on screen, but I don't disagree with you. Stephen, I'll answer this question sort of last but not least before we head off. I think at this point, Carl Amon, I don't even think there's a Hawk that's a lock. I definitely don't think Sicily is a lock, but I think Carl Amon's probably our best option. Hustwaite, if you're looking for a rookie on the bench and you want to pay 180K, honestly, for me, that's about it.
Get on it.
That's about it for me. Unfortunately, yeah.
No,
Stephen,
what's Weddle worth?
Good question. About 320, I reckon. It's a risk at that price. If you're flirting with form.
Yeah, all right. You're not backing the man in.
Don't think he's going to be able to make enough coin for us or stay in our side long enough to justify the price tag. But hey, what do I know? I finished outside the top 1K last year. So what are you listening to me about Supercoach for? So make sure you're jumping on to talkinghawks.com if you're interested in the sponsorship opportunities, or of course, you want to get a hold of the fantastic Talking Hawks hat that Chris is wearing, with hopefully more stuff to come very soon. Fingers crossed you'll be able to join us at around 5 o'clock Saturday afternoon, whether you're on your way home and you just want to chuck it on when you're driving home. Don't watch while you drive, guys. Just, maybe put it on the aux cord, put your phone away. We want to be safe while we drive. Or if you're on your train home, stick your headphones in. You'll be able to listen to the wrap-up no matter the result. And the only other thing that I'll say, Chris, and I want to give a little shout-out to my mate Jack, who's put a little bit of funds on it being a draw on the weekend. Ooh. He texted me through before. He goes, I've chucked 10 on the draw. Hopefully high scoring is the message he's given me here. So he might be the biggest genius of us all.
Oh, it's a better prediction than my loss. So
if that's a good point.
That'll be an exciting game. 80,000. That's going to make some noise.
Well, we did have a drawing round one last year with Richmond and Carlton as well. So let's get out of here, Chris. It's been a genuine pleasure. Hawks fans, as it is always. Have a fantastic rest of your week. Enjoy Saturday, hopefully, if we get the result that we are looking for. And until next time, guys, go the Hawks.
Go the Hawks.